Oh, hello, this is Daily Car News with Bijan. I'm going to keep you guys up to date on everything car every single day at 6 p.m. Pacific. Just smash that subscribe button for me to stay up to date. Now, we have a cool one today. An electric car company released a car, the humbleone. It's an SUV. It looks really nice, really striking, super futuristic. Of course, it's a concept, so it may not look exactly like that car, but if it's anything like the Z and it looks similar to that car, it's gonna look really nice. The car looks like it's on big old like 22s. It's a big SUV, really thin headlights, nice taillights, nice body lines, just looks cool. So some facts about the humbleone. It is one of the first, if not the first, car manufacturer to use solar technology to continue recharging its batteries.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Now, this SUV has some cool stats. 500-mile range on a charge. That's not bad at all. That's Tesla Cybertruck territory. But they say when you're driving during the day, you'll get 60 extra miles of charge. That's not bad. If you forgot to charge your car, you have maybe 10 miles of range left, but you're driving during the day to work, during the day back to work. If your commute's less than 50 miles, you may have just gotten charged while going to work, your car's sitting at work, and then coming back. That's really cool. On top of that, this is a very early car. So this is not expected to start production until 2024 and start releasing the SUV to its clients around 2025. But you can reserve one for $300, non-binding, non-contracted reservation for the car if you want it. Now, what's the price point? $109,000. That's a big price tag. That's Model X and Rivian price tag, but it should go toe-to-toe with those two other manufacturers, so we'll see. The company is saying that it has over $20 million in reservations for this SUV already. Also, something cool about the car, it's going to have over 1,000 horsepower. Now, it's an electric SUV, which means it'll probably have the same amount of torque, if not more. That's awesome. Now, to get the farthest range possible on an electric SUV or an electric car, you basically need to factor in a few things. One is drag coefficient and two is weight. Now, weight is a little harder to control because the battery packs are very heavy. But drag coefficient can be factored down to as little as possible by using computers, CAD, and other computer-assisted programs. Now, this new humbleone SUV is supposed to have a drag coefficient of 0.25. Now, to most people, a drag coefficient and a random number is just a random number. So let's put it into perspective. Mercedes had two models that both beat records for having the lowest drag coefficient possible. The previous car was the CLA, the new car is the A series. Now the A series has a drag coefficient of 0.22. Now if you compare a little A series to this big old SUV and their drag coefficient is very similar, that SUV was very well thought out and very well designed. You want it to have the lowest drag coefficient possible so it slices through the air. If you're driving a Jeep, in comparison, you're driving a brick through the air. You're gonna have lots of wind resistance. But when you have low drag coefficient, you have low wind resistance. So by this SUV having such a low drag coefficient, it's able to just slice through the air and get a much farther range on its charge. Now with this one, I hope it looks something like the concept, something like the prototype, because that would be very sleek, very stylish, very nice, very modern. Yes, but we're definitely not going to know on this one for a while. We're probably not going to see test mules, spy shots, anything like that until 2024, maybe even later if it takes them a little longer to produce the car and hit the numbers and hit the metrics that they are trying to hit. Regardless, it is a cool SUV to have on the radar. That's going to be it for today's Daily Car News. I'll see you guys on the next one.